What about Peter? Will he be coming along with me as well? Although Erin didn't get along with Peter, if she was going through this struggle with someone she knew, it would at least be better than going through it alone. The student who Erin didn't recognize stood next to Quinn, stepped forward, and his face started to morph back into his old self. But how? Did he have an earth ability? Erin asked. How did he learn that? The sound of a little excitement and hope could be felt in her voice. That's because Peter is no longer human, Quinn explained. When a human turns into a vampire or vampire subclass, they use their old ability as their body changes. Logan's guess is it has something to do with the cells in the body being different. Essentially, it's like getting a new body, so Peter was able to learn a new ability. Hearing these words from Quinn suddenly gave Erin an idea. She had lost her ability, but not all hope was gone. If what Quinn was saying was correct, there was a chance for her to get her powers back. She stood up from the bed and said, Quinn, I want you to make me a vampire. I want you to turn me like how you turned Peter. After hearing about how Peter was able to obtain a new ability, in her haste, Erin started to gain hope once again. If there was a way for her to get it back, a chance to return to her former self, then she would take it. Before, she would have never considered it. There were too many downsides, which she saw both Peter and Quinn deal with. As long as she grew her ice abilities slowly with higher-grade ability books, or if she was to find a good teacher, she would be able to progress up the ranks and eventually become a force to be reckoned with. Still, right now, that wasn't the case, and her best option was right in front of her. What she didn't realize, though, was the grave mistake that she had just committed. While asking Quinn to turn her, she had mentioned a particular detail that someone in the room wasn't quite sure about. Even now, Quinn was peeking at Fex from the corner of his eyes. He was trying to gauge Fex's reaction. Many times before, Fex had mentioned the fact that he thought Peter had been created by an irresponsible leader. However, Fex didn't have much of a reaction. He continued to stand there without any reaction. The reason was that he had already assumed Quinn was the one who turned Peter. He wouldn't have been so loyal without his master by his side. It also explained why Quinn wasn't trusting Fex in the first place, other than his shadow ability. Peter was illegal, and if the council ever found out about Peter, both of them would be. The reason why Fex didn't have much of a reaction to what Erin was suggesting, though, was because of their vampiric limits. Even without the laws, a regular vampire could turn, at most, one person. Someone like Fex could turn two, and he would be permitted to do so when he ascended to the noble rank. He knew Quinn's strength, and never thought he would be able to turn more than one person, so Erin's suggestion meant nothing. Seeing that Fex wasn't making a big deal out of everything, Quinn decided to continue. Erin, even if I wanted to, I can't. It wouldn't change the situation we're in, Quinn explained. What do you mean? She asked, slightly annoyed, taking a step forward. It seemed like Erin was starting to regain her snappy confidence back, but Quinn could also tell this meant her emotions were all over the place, and she was still very much unstable. Taking a step back, Quinn tried his best to explain. First, I think you're forgetting the main issue here. It isn't that your ability was stolen from you, but it's the fact that the school and Jack are after you. Either way, we need to hide you somewhere, and going to Pure is the best option. If I was to turn you and you were to turn into a ghoul like Peter or maybe something else, once they found out, who knows what they would do to you. Although Layla felt a little hurt about the others talking badly about the organization she was in, at the same time, she couldn't intervene and argue her case. If they did find out Erin was a type of vampire they didn't know about, who knows what they would do to her? Even Layla didn't know. And the last issue, say you turn into a vampire, then what? Do you want the same ability as Peter? To transform. I would have thought you would have at least wanted something similar, if not better than your ice abilities. Fex can teach me his string ability, or your shadow ability looks nice as well, Erin snapped back, forgetting about the first point Quinn had made and only focusing on the fact that Quinn would be able to help her gain power. What Erin didn't know was Quinn had learned his ability through an unusual method. He hadn't practiced the techniques written down in a book. Everything just worked through the system. There was no way for him to explain or teach someone how to use the shadow ability. And unless Erin was part of Fex's family, he wouldn't be happy to teach her to use his strings either. Perhaps I should take over the explaining, Logan said as he moved forward. The reason Peter got the transformation ability in the first place was so he could hide in plain sight. We are currently using one of the missing male students from the planet Caldi. If you did change your mind and gave in, ending up with the transformation ability, it would still be impossible to hide you, Erin. There have been no missing female students since the start of the term. They find you, and you will be taken to the dungeon. If Pure finds out that you have been turned into a vampire, you will probably experience an even worse fate. Hearing their explanation wasn't calming Erin down at all. Instead, it was making her feel drained and defeated. She thought that perhaps Quinn was her scapegoat. What's the point of me being protected by Pure? Am I meant to just be some type of princess that can't fight for herself? She complained. It won't be like that, Layla replied. There are many people in Pure who are of equal strength to those with powers to the outside. Look at our leader for a clear example. The Pure leader was well known around the world, and that was mainly because of one reason. They were one of only 2 people currently in the world to possess a demon-class weapon, the highest-tiered beast weapon that is currently known. Right now, Quinn could see that Layla was acting rash, and perhaps wasn't thinking properly, so he thought there might be just one thing he could say to calm her down. Why don't we make a deal? Quinn said. Stay with Pure for now. Once this whole thing blows over or we finish school, come back to me. If you still wish for me to turn you into a vampire, then I will. Please understand, Erin, none of us can do anything when we are dead. She looked into his eyes for a while, before eventually giving his answer, and finally shook Quinn's hand. Sometimes you make some sense, she said. Finally, the matter had been settled, and a plan set. Peter would at some point appear in the portal room, claiming to be Pio, the student who had gone missing on the last outing, while Erin would go to Pure for now, then perhaps return to Quinn's side in the future. What do we need to do to send Erin to Pure, then? Vorden asked. It's not exactly like we can just walk out the front door of this place. Students have tried leaving before, and it's nearly impossible. Logan, do you have an answer? Quinn asked. Unfortunately not, Logan replied. These military bases are strange. Quite honestly, even I don't know where we are located at the moment. I can disable the tracker and you can try going outside, but we need a vehicle of some sort, or maybe we might need a ship depending on where we are. We have Pure members stationed on nearly every planet, except for a few red planets, Layla said. We won't need to go outside, but just get Erin to the portal room. That's no good, Logan said. It seems like after the incident last time with a couple of students being pushed into one of the portals. They have been stricter about the security there. Vorden and Quinn gave each other a glance before both turned their heads at Peter.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.